Well, good morning, YouTube. Doesn't this look weird? No trailer on the back. Yep, she's sitting over there all by herself for the moment. And yeah, don't mind the caution tape. They're going to resurface the parking lot here starting later today. So I made sure to move Goliath out of their way last night when they came and roped everything off so that I could still get out of here this morning, because I normally leave through these exits over here. But anyway, you guys, we are on our way to Kentucky. We're heading up to Louisville to go to the Mid-America Truck Show, and we're looking forward to it. It's gonna seem weird driving without a trailer, I think, and it'll pretty much be the first time I've gone on a trip with Goliath without my wife with me. You know, I've driven a couple times, a few little places, but usually she's there. All right, guys, so I have stopped at the Pilot that's here at, I think it's exit 20 or 22 or something like that, Cleveland, Tennessee, just north of Chattanooga. Just gonna run inside, use the restroom, top off my coffee a little bit, and get back on the road. Sorry, somebody wanted to talk to me about Goliath real quick. So anyways, there he is sitting back there. Still looks funny without the trailer. Tell you what though, it is driving really nice. Anyway, as you can see, I pulled through the fuel island. I'm not getting fuel, but I'm gonna go in to pee and get some coffee. I should be done and out of here more than enough time that if somebody pulls up behind me and needs to get fuel, I'll be out of their way. That's the way it's supposed to be done. All right, not bad. I was in and out very, very quickly. Guys, I'll tell you what, Goliath feels weird to drive without the trailer. I mean, I've driven them without the trailer a few times before, but it's been long enough that you kind of forget how it drives. Now, of course, got a lot of weight not in it. You know, dropping the trailer and all the other stuff that I took out of it that I didn't need on this trip, we probably lost about 30,000 pounds, which is nice because overdrive is a lot more usable. I've actually been able to climb some of the hills in overdrive, but still only had to downshift to 7th for some of them that I normally have to downshift to 5th for. So obviously braking is working a lot better as well, and even the Jake brakes are holding back a little bit. You know, in fact, while we're right here, maybe I'll run it over the scales and we'll see exactly what it weighs. compare those numbers, I'll put both of those screenshots right here. Yeah, right about 30,000 or so, give or take. So yeah, it's a big difference. Alright, so we're done with most of the back roads. Let's jump on 75 and heading towards Kentucky. So as I was saying, it's actually pretty nice not having to downshift as much. And going down some of the hills, the Jake brakes were able to hold back a little bit better. So those of you that have been following along know that I only have 2 stages of Jake brake working at the moment. The third is inoperable. But with 30,000 less pounds, it's almost enough. You know, on the gradual descents, like the ones that were only, 5.5%, 6%, I was able to maintain. But some of the steeper ones, I still had to stab brake it once in a while. But without the weight, when you stab brake it, it brought it down pretty quick, and it was very, very easy to maintain a safe downhill speed. Where with the trailer, you got to stay on top of it. I got to work it to keep it safe. Look, right now I'm actually passing somebody on an uphill. That's unheard of with Goliath. It's always kind of low on power. So even though Goliath feels faster, he is by no means fast. Keep in mind that you just saw that scale ticket, around 43,000 pounds. That's heavier than a lot of truck and trailer combinations when they're unloaded, but with a trailer, and that's just Goliath with no trailer. So he's definitely on the hefty side. And I've always felt that he's kind of underpowered. But speaking of underpowered, we've never really talked about the driveline in Goliath much, I don't think. So for those of you that are new to the channel, Goliath is a 1987 GMC General, 5-star General actually, which was GMC's top-of-the-line truck. Commercial truck. Now they stopped making the GMC General in 1987, which this is the last year, which makes this truck the last of the breed. Ironically, it's powered by a Detroit 60 series engine, which is very uncommon in the GMC General because 1987 was also the very first year that the Detroit 60 series was put into service. So to find this truck and engine combination is actually pretty rare. I think I've only even heard of 1 or 2 others. I'm sure there's more out there. However, these trucks are more commonly powered with the 6V and the 8V92 Detroits. And I've seen quite a few with the old Cummins engines in them as well. Now, I'm unsure of the actual torque rating on this engine, but the paperwork that I've got with it shows that it is 400 horsepower, which to today's standards is pretty low. And even back then, not the greatest, but it was a fairly powerful engine back in the late 80s. I think the one thing that really hurts the power delivery of that 400 horsepower Detroit 60 series is the transmission. Unfortunately, Goliath is powered with an 8LL transmission, which is basically a vocational transmission that was put in a lot of dump trucks, which remember, Goliath started life as a dump truck, and they're pretty common in off-road construction vehicles. However, it's not the best highway transmission, but it does have an overdrive. So even though I'm running Rockwell 373 rear ends, which are the big heavy-duty axles, I believe the axles are rated for either 20 or 22,000 pounds each, which is good considering we're at 30,000 pounds unloaded. And if you look at that early scale ticket, we were right at 40,000 pounds on the rear axle, but that's with trailer tongue weight, and the back compartment was loaded pretty good. So although the 8LL transmission is functional due to at least having the overdrive, it's not optimal. Because there's fewer gears, there's a much larger spread between the gears, and sometimes it makes gear selection less than ideal. There are times that climbing a hill, I just don't have the power, so I've got to go to a much lower gear than I normally would like to. And same thing goes with coming down a hill with the Jake brakes on. Just don't quite have the same holdback because the gear ratio just isn't optimal. You know, really wasn't designed for what we're using it for. But they're known for being extremely durable transmissions. And like I said, 1987, the best I can tell, it's still the original transmission. And obviously it has lasted this long, even with me learning how to drive in it. I ground a few gears once in a while. Still do on occasion. Stopping up here in a little ways anyways in Kentucky because there's a streaking beacon there. And Goliath is dirty. We're going to a truck show, even though he's not being entered. I want him to be clean. And I wasn't able to find a truck wash closer to the Louisville area. Every time I tried to Google it, I was getting a bunch of regular car washes, nothing that we could fit Goliath into. The Kentucky is the closest streaking beacon that's on my route. There's one south of it, like going towards Nashville, but that's definitely out of my way, so that's not going to work either. See how long it takes to get through this traffic. Alright guys, so I know that this is not a truck wash. I screwed up there. I'll get into that in a moment. But stop the Gold Star chili. If you guys aren't familiar with Gold Star, it's very, very similar to Skyline. Basically the same concept restaurant. Some argue which one is better. I guess there's a difference in the recipe to the chili. But either way, they're both really good. So we stopped here to get something to eat. All right, guys, so when I say they're the same concept, it's kind of like the difference between a White Castle and a Crystal. They're almost the same thing, but not quite. Now, me personally, I prefer Skyline. I think it's definitely better. I think Katie preferred the Gold Star. The reason I came to Gold Star, one, because I haven't eaten it in, I don't know, since 2016, I think. You know what, before I get into telling you why I came here, let me tell you why we didn't get the truck washed. So remember earlier I said Corbin, Kentucky, we were going to stop and get the truck washed. Well, I guess I should do a better job of trip planning because we're coming through Corbin, Kentucky. I'm looking for the signs. I didn't know which exit I was supposed to get off at, but it's a blue beacon, right? There's got to be a sign for the blue beacon. Well, I never saw it. I get through Corbin and then I start seeing signs for London, Kentucky. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Was it London, Kentucky? I'll just keep looking for signs. Still never saw the signs. I have no idea where the truck wash was. But I knew exactly where this Gold Star was because I did sit down and look on the maps a couple nights ago, trying to find a skyline that I could stop with Goliath and get something to eat. And there was nothing that had reasonable access. However, I found a Gold Star that had this loop road that runs around it. And I saw on the maps, there were other semi-trucks already parked here. So I thought I could get away with it. Yeah, so I failed to properly trip plan the truck wash, but I damn well made sure I knew where I was going to stop and eat, didn't I? All right, so back in the driver's seat, map says that I am only an hour and 12 minutes away from the Kentucky Exposition Center. So it'll probably actually take a little bit longer than that. So we're going to get back on the road. Like I said, we're just outside of Lexington, Kentucky right now, kind of like the southeast side. So we still got to finish going around Lexington, and then it's a straight shot over to Louisville. We should be there at a reasonable time. It's only a little bit after 2 o'clock right now.
Use the right lane to keep right toward Fair Expo Center main gate. Take a slight right turn onto Circle of Champions, then turn left onto East Wing Drive.
I may have missed a streak and beacon, but luckily there's some people here doing a wash. They're just a little bit more expensive than the beacon, but he promises to do a much better job. So it'll get clean either way. And then I just got to find a place to park it. All right, well, she's all cleaned up and parked. Hopefully this will be her parking spot for the remainder of the show. I'm gonna stay here at least until somebody tells me that I have to move. Now I'm really close to the action. If you look right over here, there's all the custom show trucks right there. So I'm not far away. I can sit up on the roof and look at all the trucks. Now I had every intention of when I got here, putting the drone up in the air and getting some footage of Goliath coming through the parking lot and stuff. And that's just not gonna happen. I completely forgot that this Kentucky Exposition Center is right next to the airport. I mean, it's like right there, planes flying overhead. So we are in a no-fly zone, which really sucks because I wanted to get some drone footage of the truck show as well. And I don't think that's gonna happen. See, look right there? I'm going up right above my head. Many times it's been two at a time shooting right over us. I can see one of the semi-casual trucks over there. I'm excited to see that one close up. But guys, I think that's going to end it for today's video. We're here, we made it safe. Goliath is washed, Goliath is parked. At this point, tomorrow we'll start bringing some more videos from the show itself. I can't get my credentials to get inside until tomorrow. But make sure you stay tuned over the next couple of days. We're going to have a whole lot of content coming from the Mid-America Trucking Show here in Louisville, Kentucky. And we hope that you guys enjoy it all. And until the next time I see you, keep those engines running.